Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news. Newsmakers' talking points. Our big talking point once again is coming from the state of West Bengal. The Kolkata rape case is now becoming a political battlefield. Is this a fight for justice that's losing out to politics? Has this become purely now Mamata Banerjee versus the BJP? Also, the Maha fight over a Shivaji statue. We'll tell you that too on the news today. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. More chaos in West Bengal streets in some parts over the BJP's Bengal Bandh call. A BJP neta claims he was shot at in Bhatpara. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee accuses the BJP of trying to burn Bengal. The state BJP wants the Home Minister's intervention. Ex-RG car principal Sandeep Ghosh shunted out of top medical body. CBI holds a lie detector test of Kolkata ASI Anup Datta, a close associate of the Kolkata rape accused. Torrential rains wreak havoc in Gujarat. Streets waterlogged, homes flooded, vehicles swept away. At least 15 people killed in flood aftermath. It's Aghadi versus Maha Yuti over the Shivaji statue collapse in Maharashtra. India allies call for large-scale protests. Shinde government promises a bigger Shivaji statue at the site of the collapse. Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sharma triggers a fresh row in the State Assembly. Says he won't let Mia Muslims take over Assam. Opposition storms well of the House, accuses Hemanta of once again playing communal politics. Disqualified IAS trainee Pooja Khedkar claims in Delhi High Court she didn't forge documents. Says UPSC has no power to cancel her candidature. Another US visit on the cards. Prime Minister Modi to visit America on September 22nd and 23rd for the UNGA summit. Mega diaspora outreach also on the agenda once again. Man-eater wolves on the prowl in Uttar Pradesh, Baraj. 9 killed in 45 days. Forest Department launched an operation to nab the wolves. Big domestic manufacture boost by the centre. 12 industrial smart cities to be set up to create 10 lakh jobs. But the story that's breaking at the moment, there's been a tragic aftermath of the West Bengal protest that took place yesterday. A Bengal policeman has lost vision in one eye. The policeman lost vision in violent protest aftermath. Several Bengal policemen had sustained injuries. One of them now has undergone an eye surgery and has lost his eyesight in one eye, according to those who are been at the hospital. That's the tragic news that's coming in. His name is Mr. Chakraborty. He has apparently suffered serious damage to his eye and has gone through an eye surgery. Let me go straight across to Indrajit Kundu, who's joining us at the moment with the very latest. Indrajit, this is one of several policemen who yesterday was injured during the protests. Can you tell us the name of this individual, the kind of injuries that he has suffered and where he is now?
Well, that's right, Rajdeep. You know, there are more than 30 police officers who were injured in yesterday's program that was called by a nondescript students' body, but clearly backed by the opposition BJP here in West Bengal. This specific incident, Debashish Chakraborty, he is a surgeon who is working with the cyber cell of East Division. And he was in a vehicle, in fact, when there was a stone that was pelted. It broke through the windshield and it hit him on his left eye. He was rushed to 2 hospitals and then he underwent a surgery today. Unfortunately, he has lost vision on his left eye. There are other police officers who were also grievously injured in the kind of violence that one could witness. Stone pelting that took place yesterday. We are given to understand from Kolkata police, that 36 policemen have sustained various types of injuries in yesterday's, showdown that took place on the streets of Kolkata and Howrah. during the Nabanna Obhinjan or the march to the state secretariat that is concerned.
Because we've seen injuries, we've seen those, the so-called student protesters also claiming that the West Bengal police used disproportionate force. That was an allegation made by the West Bengal governor. And now we are seeing these images of a policeman who's actually lost, at least partially lost his eyesight. So what do we know in terms of injuries? You said about 30 policemen have been injured. What are the nature of injuries that they've suffered? We'll put some more pictures of some of those policemen who have tragically suffered, people who are simply doing their duty.
Well, that's right. Not just Debashish Chakraborty, whose image I believe we are showing right now. There is another police officer whose image, came up yesterday during the protest. He's a Bengal police officer. However, Debashish works with the Kolkata police. There's another Bengal police officer who got injured in his eyes, and there was bleeding yesterday. He was, whisked away. There was a senior IPS officer, DP Singh, who fell down, and the visuals of him being thrashed by a group of protesters with lathis yesterday. So various of these scenes were witnessed yesterday scattered across various portions on this side of the Hooghly River in Calcutta and on the other side in Howrah. And as we have been given to understand, I have the list with me, there are 36 police officers of Kolkata police who have been injured in the Nabanna Obhinjan incident that took place on 27th of August, is what the Kolkata police is telling us. And there are various injuries. Some have bone injuries, some have other. But grievously injured Debashish Chakraborty is, of course, lost his vision on his left eye despite the operation.
That is extremely tragic news coming in there. Policemen who are out on their duty, why should they get caught in a political battlefield? And if a protest is peaceful, then why should there be stone throwers who should be throwing stones at the police? That clearly is unacceptable. Indrajit Kundu joining us there at the top of the news. As I said, that was yesterday, but today there was a fresh flashpoint in battlefield Bengal. A 12-hour Bandh was called by the BJP. The strike triggered chaos in some parts. BJP workers clashing with Kolkata police once again. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee also held a rally lashing out at the BJP, claiming there was a conspiracy to foment trouble in the state. The BJP, on the other hand, says the Home Ministry and the centre must intervene in West Bengal. Take a look at all that happened.
A dawn to dusk Bandh called by BJP against the crackdown on protesters a day ago. A public meeting of the students' wing of the Trinamool Congress addressed by CM Mamata Banerjee. And a march by junior doctors seeking justice for Abhaya, who was raped and murdered at the RG Kaur Hospital. Kolkata was on the edge on Wednesday. BJP workers blocked rail tracks, asked for shops to be shut in some places, stopped road traffic. Their attempts to enforce the Bandh led to clashes with the police. Many were detained.
Cops have arrived over here, and for last 15 minutes, we did see a huge ruckus on the street. Police, tried to pull them back. Even over 10, what we believe that over 20 people have been picked up from this protest venue in Kolkata. But it's turning into a huge political slugfest between the ruling dispensation and the opposition Bharatiya Janata Party.
A BJP leader was shot at in Bhatpara. The attack caught on camera saw the assailant firing at the car of BJP leader Piyangu Pandey and the bullet shattering the windshield.
हमारे फ्रंट के जो है सिर्फ कांच पे 3 गोलियां चलाई गई। एक गोली हमारे ड्राइवर को सर को टच करके निकला है। एक गोली जो है हमारे ठीक पीछे बैठे हुए हमारे सहकर्मी हैं रवि सिंह जी, उनको लगा है।
CM Mamata Banerjee, who addressed her party's student wing, Trinamool Chhatra Parishad, said her government will bring a new law to make rape punishable with death. She accused the BJP of fomenting trouble in Bengal.
Modi Babu, আপনার পার্টিকে দিয়ে আগুন লাগাচ্ছেন। মনে রাখবেন, বাংলায় যদি আগুন লাগান আসামও থেমে থাকবে না, নর্থ ইস্টও থেমে থাকবে না, উত্তরপ্রদেশও থেমে থাকবে না, বিহারও থেমে থাকবে না, ঝাড়খণ্ডও থেমে থাকবে না, উড়িষ্যাও থেমে থাকবে না, আর দিল্লিও থেমে থাকবে না। আপনার চেয়ারটা আমরা টলমল করে দেব।
The BJP hit back at Mamata, accusing her of inciting violence. Union Minister and State Party Chief Sukanta Majumdar wrote to Home Minister Amit Shah seeking action.
যে বাংলার মানুষের উপর আক্রমণ করো, বাংলার মানুষকে মারো, পেটো। মুখ্যমন্ত্রীকে পরিষ্কার বলে দিতে চাই, যদি আপনি ভাবেন যে আপনার কুণ্ডাল বাহিনী তারা বাংলার জনগণের উপর অত্যাচার করবে, বাংলার জনগণ এর উপর মারধর করবে, আর বিজেপি চুপ করে বসে থাকবে, বিজেপি চুপ করে বসে থাকবে না।
As politics took center stage, doctors took out a march in the city demanding justice.
हम लोग डॉक्टर्स हैं, हम लोग बहुत कड़ी सिचुएशन में ड्यूटी करते हैं, हम लोगों का पेशेंट इतने जल्दी से हट नहीं जाएगा।
What began as a citizens' movement for justice for Abhay has now become a full-blown BJP versus TMC war. With Indrajit Kundu, Suryagni Roy, Ritik Mondal, Shreya Chatterjee, Bureau Report, India Today.
So has the Kolkata rape and murder case now become a political battlefield? Is the fight for justice losing out to politics once again? Has this only now become Mamata Banerjee versus the BJP? Is there outrage that is selective when it comes to rape cases? What happens to doctors' safety? Is that getting lost in the din? I want to once again make a disclosure. My wife is a Trinamool Congress MP, but I will continue to ask all the questions to all sides, and I can assure you that. Joining me now is Dr. Kunal Sarkar, cardiologist, eminent cardiologist from Kolkata, who's been raising these issues about doctors' safety. Shikha Mukherjee is a leading political commentator based in Kolkata. Sanju Verma is the evergreen national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And also joining me is Dr. Shashi Panja, West Bengal's minister in the Mamata government. And to you, Shashi Panja, I want to come first, because today the West Bengal chief minister is heard saying in a video, Modi Babu, you should remember that your attempt to burn Bengal using your party will backfire, as the fire will not be restricted to just my state. It will spread to Assam, Northeast, UP, Bihar, Odisha, even Delhi will be affected. We will bring you down. Now, isn't that incitement to violence? The BJP says, Hemanta Biswa Sarma says, how can you start talking about spreading the fires beyond Bengal? This is incitement to violence.
First of all, good evening, and I appreciate your disclosure, which you just mentioned, and we all know that you are very unbiased. Now, coming to the, you see, how did this situation build up? You know what has been happening. The protests of the civil society or the doctors over the horrific crime which took place, which is so very organic. Now, what is the political party BJP doing? Is orchestrated hooliganism, rowdyism, which we saw since yesterday. It should not have happened. Rape is not something where there should be political differences. Rape and the fight against it and murder, rape and murder, these issues are societal issues, and we should leave our political differences aside, and we should have a political consensus to fight against it. Now, unfortunately, yesterday, the rally which took place in the name of a banner which is not very well known, but it was more than obvious that BJP was planning it all and also participated in it. But what we saw at the end of the day was vandalism. Now, BJP...
No, explain Mamata, ma'am, but explain Mamata Banerjee's statement. You're not addressing the question. Explain her statement when she says the fire will spread beyond Bengal.
What I'm trying to get at. Sure. So who is inciting, Rajdeep? Who is doing the incitement? You see, we have exercised tremendous restraint, and we are very focused on the investigation to catch the culprits. But who has tried to digress this issue and make it a political agenda is BJP. And whoever is in cahoots with them, maybe the CPM too. Now, why she has to say this? Look at the bleeding policeman yesterday. The policeman did not fire. There was no dead, no bullets. Absolutely, it was to be a peaceful demonstration, these were announcements there. If you would have been in Calcutta, you would have heard requesting that let it be peaceful demonstrations. They were more than welcome. But there was definitely a nefarious agenda, and it ended up with such violence.
Okay.
So who is actually inciting this?
Okay, you made your point.
The incitement is coming from the political party,
Okay.
and he has responded.
Ma'am, you made your point.
Saying that we are very cosmopolitan. Rajdeep, you must understand.
Let Sanju Verma respond, because Sanju Verma, today I started the show with a policeman, a constable, who has lost his left eye. And the truth of the matter is, the visuals that we saw yesterday, people were throwing bricks and they were hardly looking like students, ma'am. And the general belief is that the BJP was behind these student protesters, some unknown organization, and a policeman loses his eye. Who's going to pay the price for bricks? You'll tell the courts it will be a peaceful protest and then bricks are thrown at a police officer. I mean, surely there should be some, when you go in for a peaceful protest or a bandh, who's accountable when a policeman loses his eye, ma'am?
Thank you, Rajdeep. And first and foremost, I must applaud the fact that you have disclosed that your wife, Sagarika Ghosh, is a Rajya Sabha MP from the Trinamool Congress, and you have no conflict of interest, and you will ask equally tough questions of both the sides. Having said that, Rajdeep, let me make one thing very, very clear. What is happening in Kolkata today is not about the BJP. What is happening in Kolkata today is about three things. A, Mamata Banerjee as the Chief Minister has failed the citizens of West Bengal. 2, Mamata Banerjee as the Home Minister has failed the citizens of West Bengal. And 3, the very incompetent Mamata Banerjee, by virtue of also being the Health Minister of West Bengal, has failed the citizens of West Bengal. Point number 2, is there any room for hooliganism or vandalism in civil society? The unequivocal answer is no, irrespective of where that violence emerges from. But I want to draw your attention and the attention of your audience to a very important point, because I think this will set the tone of what is to come in the next few minutes of your debate. People from different parties have been telling me, I've been on a zillion debates on the show, अरे रेप तो उत्तर प्रदेश में भी होता है, रेप तो उत्तराखंड में भी होता है, रेप तो त्रिपुरा में भी होता है. Much as I hate to admit it, yes, rapes are being committed with brazen impunity. We as conscientious citizens need to wake up. But what makes the Kolkata RG Kar hospital rape and death case very, very disturbing, extremely disturbing for me, not only as the national spokesperson of the BJP, but as an empowered, independent thinking woman, is that the only woman Chief Minister of India had the audacity, her state had the audacity to first pass off this gruesome, blood-curdling rape as just a suicide. The Supreme Court and the High Court have asked one question to the West Bengal dispensation. Why was an FIR filed so late?
Ma'am,
why was it not
you're
filed?
not again, much like Shashi Panja, I have to get you on the question. Yesterday's protest involved violence. You said you have no place for hooliganism. The truth is the hooligans were there, and the accusation is the BJP was completely involved with the hooligans. Just a minute, ma'am. You must listen. Both the Congress and the left have also made the same accusation, that this protest has now been taken over by the BJP, and the BJP resorted to hooliganism because you want to bring down the Mamata Banerjee government. That somehow you want to create a law and order situation.
Rajdeep, I was coming to that. See, the TMC got a free run now. I don't
No, they
expect
were
you to
asked.
give me
You
a
will
free
also
run.
be asked, ma'am. You cannot get away. Please answer.
I will answer. Now I don't want you to disrupt.
Sure.
Right? Because you hate the word heckle.
Sure.
You said BJP has engineered this hooliganism, and who says this? The TMC.
No,
TMC
the Congress
BJP
left. The Congress and the left also.
Can I finish? You
Yeah,
did not
please.
heckle the TMC. Can I finish?
Please, ma'am.
Or I will leave the debate.
Please, ma'am.
Like you said,
Please
law of
speak.
Vader.
Please
Today
speak.
I am challenging you.
Please
Do
speak.
not heckle. Thank you. Do not heckle. I will repeat. Rajdeep Sardesai's audience, please listen to this. Who is accusing the BJP of engineering hooliganism? It is TMC. Who is accusing the BJP of engineering the Gundagardi? It is the Congress. Who is accusing the BJP of engineering the violence in Bengal? It is the entire Rahul Gandhi-led cabal and ecosystem from the other side. We are all political parties. If today I say that Mamata Banerjee has engineered the hooliganism to actually divert attention from the Arjikar rape, will you believe me? You will say, Sanju Verma, that is a reckless allegation. Do you have proof? So let us now speak about what the court said. Kolkata High Court is not the BJP's Kharida Hua Gulam. Kolkata High Court Acting Chief Justice said this, Rajdeep, there is an absolute failure of the state machinery under the current dispensation of Mamata Banerjee. Supreme Court is not a Kharida Hua Gulam of Narendra Modi. Kya bola Supreme Court ne? Do you know that? Justice Chandrachud said that what has happened is blood-curdling, and in his 30 years, he and Justice Pardiwala have not come across an incident where there has been such a brazen mishandling.
I will again stop you now and move on
machinery.
because I will not allow on a sensitive issue the audience to be misled. Justice Pardiwala made that comment. It was subsequently clarified by Justice Chandrachud in the court. After the time, minute by minute, details were given of what happened. But I don't know, ma'am. I put both the politicians. Ma'am, I have two more guests. I will come back to you. Don't worry. I will come back. I will not let you.
Yes or no?
Ma'am, I am now. I will now come to my other guest.
Do you believe Mamata Banerjee should resign, Rajdeep, please?
That's your view.
Conscientious journalist.
Okay.
Yes or no?
You believe that that's for you to decide. You're saying she should resign. You're saying she should resign. I will ask Kunal Sarkar that question. Kunal Sarkar, just a minute, ma'am. Kunal Sarkar, you are among the first to raise your voice on this issue of the rape and murder. You are seeing what has happened. Please put a fader. You are seeing what has happened in the last few days. Do you believe, according to Sanju Verma, Mamata Banerjee should resign? She says she should resign, and she says BJP has nothing to do with this hooliganism. Your response?
Rajdeep, the response would be that that was neither the prerogative or the perspective with which the people at large or the medical community in particular was expressing their concerns ever since the 9th of August. Mm-hmm. Now, the question, sadly, this evening is that has this agenda been completely hijacked or partially hijacked by the very well-rehearsed, boring, tedious, violent, destructive, disruptive, political skullduggery that we have seen ad nauseum. What was the core issue of the movement, of the civil society movement and the doctors' movement so far? Point number one was people were wanting an expeditious and a conclusive closure to the crime, to the case. Point number two was the medical community absolutely unanimously pointed out to the government, to the health secretary, that this crime was a culmination, was in some ways a bizarre result of some of the cartelization, the funny practices that were happening in West Bengal's healthcare administrative system. That has to be fixed. The confidence of the serving doctors, especially the junior doctors, has to be reclaimed, and then normalcy will resume.
No, but the question is, the opposition says, at least the BJP says, Mamata Banerjee should resign. They are saying it's about, their argument is the chief minister is the health minister, the chief minister is the home minister, and therefore she should resign. Is that what the doctors want? When you say you want restoration of normalcy, what will it take? The Supreme Court has also asked you to come back to work, but the junior doctors are not. So what do you want that will restore this sense of normalcy?
The doctors, Rajdeep, in their meetings with the health secretary in the various memorandum they have given, have pointed out very clearly that they still consider certain troublesome extraneous elements, of whom Sandeep Ghosh is just an example, to be present in the system. That needs to be flushed out. That needs to be made accountable. The medical colleges and the hospitals needed to be made safe for the youngsters to work in.
Do they want the chief minister to resign?
There was nothing about the Chief Minister's resignation as far as the doctors' movement and as far as the various memorandum submitted by 7 or 8 forum of doctors were concerned. It is an absolute tragedy. It is an absolute tragedy at this point that this movement, that this the angst, the concerns, the sincere concerns of the community is really a witness to this banal act of political violence. And the question remains that has the civil society lost out partially or completely?
Okay.
Because we are afraid that from this evening onwards, absolutely, unendingly, incessantly, the entire focus will be diverted to this political tutu meme, and we have already.
Okay, I take your point, Doctor. I take your point. That's your concern. But Shikha Mukherjee, many will say Mamata Banerjee is being hoisted by her own petard. When she was in the opposition, she would take out the left, she would hit the streets. Now the BJP is doing it. Has this become part of the political culture in a way of Bengal, this violence, which tragically, as I said, has led to a policeman today losing his eye? And none of the politicians are showing any empathy for that poor policeman, because it's all about how do you bring down a government?
Yeah, you're right, Rajdeep. This is the politics of confrontation, political confrontation. The politics and political confrontation began from yesterday. It is because this organization which said it would hold a peaceful demonstration turned violent. Now, this organization itself is rather dubious.
Is it a BJP organization? Let's cut the chase. Is it a BJP? Was yesterday's protest organized by the BJP or not?
Yes, because they held a press conference a day before that, and they said that we are the people who called for the demonstrations yesterday said that we are members of the BJP and the RSS. So there's no sort of ambiguity on who they were.
And what do they gain? What do you believe the BJP gains from this?
What the BJP gains from it is that as soon as the protest turned violent, which was anticipated, I anticipated it. Most of us journalists anticipated that this would happen, because Naban Abhijan means you're hitting the headquarters of the state government. Obviously, there's going to be there's violence, and 1993. Let's go back to 1993. Mamata Banerjee hit the streets. She was heading for Writers' Building, and there was violence. Yes.
So is that violence now, unfortunately, a part of the culture of Bengal?
Well, from 1993 and even earlier, yes, it has always been so, and it will be so. I remember this. I don't remember seeing it, but I know of Jyoti Basu carrying the assembly and trying to clamber over the gates. So yes, this is part of the political violence.
Okay, let me bring in Sanju Verma again, because Sanju Verma, the BJP has it by doing what you're doing. There are pictures there of Shuvendu Adhikari. He's hitting the street every day. Shukanto Majumdar. Are you losing the moral high ground? What started, as Kunal Sarkar says, as a genuine organic protest of civil society is being hijacked by the BJP because you lost the elections, according to the TMC, and therefore are doing whatever it takes to somehow or the other bring the government down. How do you respond? Have you taken over an organic protest of civil society, ma'am?
Now I will answer, and please allow me the time. First and foremost, since 2014, since the time Narendra Modi came to power, there is an entire ecosystem. And with no offense to Rajdeep Sardesai, he is the famous TV anchor of a famous news channel. हर वक्त मुझे यही सुनने को मिलता है, हवा बदल रही है, हवा बदल रही है. If Rahul Gandhi protests, that's his fundamental right. हवा बदल रही है मोदी के खिलाफ. If Himanta Biswa Sarma protests, क्यों किया? If Yogi Adityanath protests, क्यों किया? If Tripura में जहां बीजेपी की सरकार है, if we start asking questions as to why the opposition in Tripura is engaging in hooliganism, which is what they did prior to the February 2023 assembly elections, we were said, why are you clamping down on dissent? Dissent and dialogue are the oxygens of democracy, wrote Sagarika Ghosh. in an op-ed column in 2020 December.
Nobody
And
there is no
protest.
place for violence. I hope you agree with that. Dissent
Yes,
does not
I'm coming.
involve violence. 1 minute, ma'am.
I'm coming.
Dissent,
I'm
you have
finishing
every
that.
right. Do you have a right to be
Yes,
violent?
don't, I will finish. I will not misquote you. Protest is a way to strengthen the democratic system. Protest is not something that weakens our democratic system. The entire cabal of op-ed writers, the entire cabal of YouTube influencers, the entire cabal which has
Ma'am,
been
but when
paying
farmers
for
protested,
Narendra
you
Modi's
called
blood.
them Khalistanis. When farmers protest, you call them Khalistanis. JNU students protest peacefully, you call them anti-national. And if I suggest that dissent can't be protest...
Are you a panelist? Are you a panelist? Can I finish, Rajdeep?
Ma'am, please
Can I
answer.
finish? I will answer. Can you stop heckling?
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes. Rajdeep Sardesai, you gave a disclaimer. Now stop being the husband of Sagarika.
No, that you can say. I'm asking you a straight question. You don't like my question?
Change. Yes, I'm answering. I want to ask you one thing, Rajdeep. With a hand on your heart, you tell me. I have done difficult shows on your channel. And I know that you are a difficult anchor, but I always come on your shows because I expect you to be fair. Sometimes I'm disappointed, sometimes I'm not. When there's a problem in Uttar Pradesh, you ask Sanju Verma, will Yogi Adityanath resign? When there was a problem in Manipur, you ask Sanju Verma, will the Manipur Chief Minister resign? When there's a problem in Assam, you ask Sanju Verma, will Himanta Biswa Sarma resign? हिम्मत है तो एक बार सिर्फ टीएमसी
Shashi Pandya, answer that. Okay, you made a good question. Let me take that directly, ma'am. Directly. Don't worry. Ma'am, don't worry. हम किसी से डरते नहीं. Shashi Pandya. No, 1 minute, ma'am. Now you must let me ask Shashi Pandya. She's listened quietly. Shashi Pandya, Sanju Verma says, when Manipur, there is violence that results in more than 200 people dead over 13 months, you all want Biren Singh to resign. If there is a rape and murder in Hathras, you want Yogi Adityanath to resign. Now there's been a rape and murder in a government college, a college where you were a doctor, you were trained as a doctor. Mamata Banerjee, Health Minister, Home Minister, should she resign? According to the BJP, you can't have different rules. They want the Chief Minister to resign.
Rajdeep, I think we need to be a little bit more civil in this discussion, and primarily we should not digress from the very fact that the investigation is on and we are waiting for the culprits to be held. Today this so-called 12-hour bandh, which BJP declared, during this so-called bandh which they had announced, and there was again hooliganism, there was also a very civil rally protests held by the junior doctors, in which they are demanding justice from CBI. They are waiting for the outcome of the investigation. Rajdeep, for us, we are deeply anguished by this incident. Today, Mamata Banerjee announced, and on 2nd of September, a special session of the West Bengal Legislative Assembly will be called because we want to introduce the death penalty as a swift to be swift.
Ma'am, but a state government can't do that. Ma'am, with due regard, that has to be done. No, 1 minute. Shashi Pandya, a law on capital punishment for rape cannot be brought in by a state assembly. It has to be brought in at the center.
We are talking of a reforms first approach.
So bring it in parliament.
Reforms first approach, and this is why. And this, parliament should do it. Can you recall, Rajdeep, there were times when the parliament was not in session, ordinances were brought in because it was not in session. Well, they could do it. And for this very similar reason, Honorable Chief Minister wrote to the Honorable Prime Minister that we have to have swift action.
Law and order is a state subject.
Should also be swift. If Sanhita, may I speak?
Okay,
I have not said a word.
Sanju Verma, she showed you the courtesy of not interfering with you, ma'am.
Please keep quiet. I didn't butt in.
I will not keep quiet.
We've had very harsh experiences with
Ma'am, both of you are...
Because...
Ma'am, Sanju Verma, you cannot... She's been very quiet. She listened to you patiently. Shashi Pandya, I ask you again. How is a state assembly saying there should be death penalty for rape? That's for the judiciary and for parliament to decide. It can't be done in a state assembly. You're simply trying to get back the lost narrative.
Try to understand. No. Try to understand that the death penalty is there, but we are looking for swift action. There have to be timelines, and that we can always introduce.
Okay.
Aren't the resident doctors also asking for timelines?
Let me ask that. Let me ask that to Dr.
You
Kunal
cannot
Sarkar.
have an incident like
Okay.
Nirbhaya, and 8 years it took to
Let
bring
me ask,
justice
ma'am.
to Nirbhaya.
Let me ask that to
So
Kunal
that is
Sarkar.
the speedy action.
Yeah, okay.
that
You
people
made your
look
point,
for.
ma'am. Kunal Sarkar, the truth of the matter is there is an investigation. Lost in this din is the fact that the CBI, I had a lawyer, top lawyer 2 days ago who said this seems a open and shut case. The DNA is matching. The CBI can easily file a charge sheet at the very earliest. Is that what the doctors want at the end? When you say justice, if the culprit has been caught, the right accused has been caught, is that the first step to ensure what you call normalcy? Is that what you mean by justice?
Rajdeep, one part of the quest for justice is, of course, that. The other part of the quest for justice is to make the working environment for the doctors safe and sensible. Some cleansing has to happen in the West Bengal Health Service Administration. There has been a lot of extraneous influences.
Shashi Panja, will that happen? Shashi Panja, here is a Kolkata top cardiologist, Dr. Sarkar, saying clean up the system. You don't clean it up. Absolutely. Then you have no right to govern.
Yes. No. Have we ever said that we are a perfect government? We know.
Will you
we
clean
also
up the
have
system?
Imperfections, and I think this has to be corrected. We are not defending. Yes, we will. I know what Dr. Sarkar is trying to indicate, and we are aware of it. This kind of corruption, etc., cannot take place. In fact, for that matter, CBI has been questioning the former principal, and why should there be so many economic irregularities and such
Yes, but
irregularities?
it didn't take a
transfers,
it didn't
etc.
take a rape and murder for
There has
y'all
to
to
be
wake
cleansing.
up to what was happening in the RG Car hospital. That is where the government also is suffering
Very
today
unfortunate.
from a credibility deficit.
Rajdeep,
The truth of the matter is the investigation is one part.
Rajdeep, don't put it that way.
Okay, no, but
Don't
there
put
is
it
no
that
other
way.
way to put it, ma'am, at the moment. I'm being
Don't put
blunt.
it that way.
I'm being
That would be
direct.
very
That's the only way to put it. But
Come in for a bit.
I do hope that is the focus. Clean up the system and ensure that that the culprit is given swift punishment. Once you do that, then you can claim that you've restored an element of credibility. And for the BJP, the message is clear. Hitting the street and then injuring a police officer who loses his eye is hooliganism. That should
Can I
not
please
be
finish?
acceptable. So both the parties in their own way hopefully will introspect as to what they've done wrong.
Rajdeep,
Because we the
please do
people
not make
only want a better...
allegations.
Ma'am, just a minute.
Do
I'm
not
just...
prove it was BJP which injured the policeman. You
So
are
you're
a
saying,
journalist,
okay.
for God's sake.
Okay, the
You
student
are a journalist, for
protesters had
God's
nothing
sake.
to do. Okay.
Do
Your
not
point
make
is student
allegations
protesters
like
had
a
nothing to
TMC
do with the BJP.
spokesperson.
Okay, fair
Don't
enough.
make allegations like a TMC spokesperson,
Okay,
for
ma'am,
God's
that's
sake.
your
Well
argument.
identified.
Let's leave it there.
All
Let's
these
leave it there. I
miscreants
appreciate
have-
you joining us. You're saying that none of the BJP had anything to do with what happened on the street. We will take your point of view for that. We leave it to the viewers to judge who were those who were throwing those stones yesterday in Kolkata. Let's turn from there to our other special story, a twin death mystery from Uttar Pradesh's Farukhabad. 2 young Dalit girls found hanging from a tree. The police have ruled out murder or rape, but the victim's family is crying foul, accusing the state police in Uttar Pradesh of holding a hurried cremation. The opposition typically has gone all guns blazing now at the Yogi government. What's the real story? Get Real India.
A double death mystery that has sent shockwaves in Uttar Pradesh. 2 Dalit girls found hanging from a tree by the same scarf in Farukhabad. The 2 girls, aged 15 and 18, were friends and had gone to a nearby Janmashtami celebration. When they did not return, their families raised alarm. Cops have ruled out rape or murder in the deaths. However, the family claims the girls were murdered.
हमारे हिसाब से आत्महत्या नहीं है, क्यों कि पेड़ की जो कंडीशन थी, जो जिस तरीके लटकी थी, दोनों का बैलेंस बराबर नहीं था. एक लड़की में वजन कम से कम 15-20 किलो ज़्यादा था, 20 किलो लगभग, और दूसरे में करीब 20 किलो कम था.
कछु कोई लड़ाई दंगन है घरे, कोई बात भौजाई थी, भैया थे, बहन थे, कोई लड़ाई दंगा कोई बात ही ना थी. खुशी खुशी मेरी लड़की रही, वो भी रही, हमारी उधर रही.
The post-mortem report reveals there was no assault marks on the bodies.
दो बच्चियां थी ये कायमगंज से चुकी थी, तो इसका पोस्टमार्टम हुआ है और हमने पैनल से कराया, वीडियोग्राफी कराई पुलिस ने, और इसमें जो निकला है एस्फिक्सिया V2 एंटीमार्टम हैंगिंग ये निकला।
घटना में दोनों युवकों की मृत्यु एंटीमार्टम हैंगिंग मतलब सुसाइड का केस पाया जा रहा है। बॉडी पे कोई गहरा चोट नहीं है, किसी भी तरह की कोई चोट नहीं है, ना ही किसी तरह का कोई असॉल्ट है। और दोनों लड़कियों की पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट हम लोग के पास आ गई है, जिससे ये स्पष्ट है कि उनके द्वारा आत्महत्या की गई।
Families of the two girls have accused the police of carrying out a hurried cremation.
You can see just behind me in the visuals, this is the particular branch from where the dead bodies were found hanging. Now this is more than 15 feet above the ground. If you could just see the distance, and as per the investigation report, no support was found from the crime scene, which would have helped those two girls climb this very particular tree. Now it remains to be seen that does the police act on the complaint given by the family members of the deceased, which alleges murder, or they just register the case of a suicide. With video journalist Shubham Shukla, this is Simar Chawla in Farukhabad for India Today.
It's the collapse of the 35-foot Shivaji statue in pole-bound Maharashtra's Sindhudurg that has now triggered a big fight between the two major parties. The Uddhav Sena is upping the ante, calling on party workers to hold large-scale protests, while the Shinde government is firefighting by promising a similar but bigger structure at the collapse site. But the question remains, a statue that was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi, no less, in just December last year, has collapsed within 9 months. The government there is blaming the Navy. The Navy says, we've ordered an inquiry. The question is, where does the buck stop? Clyde Crasto is NCP spokesperson and Krishna Hegde is the Shiv Sena spokesperson and MLA. Appreciate you joining us. Krishna Hegde, why doesn't your government take responsibility? Ultimately, the report suggests that it was your government who had worked out the entire construction of the statue. To blame the Navy for what is really your government's issue is extremely unfair.
Rajdeep, first, let me tell you that we are proud nationalists and we are not blaming the Navy. We take the onus and the responsibility on ourselves.
No, your Chief Minister, Chief Minister yesterday blamed the Navy. Your Chief Minister said Navy should order an investigation. How can you say that you didn't blame the Navy?
Rajdeep, please listen to me. The Honorable Chief Minister said that the statue was commissioned by the Navy, which is a fact, and the statue was also inaugurated on Navy Day. The state's contribution was 2.5 crore rupees and not the extravagant figure these people are quoting, 3,000 crores. And also this is a fact. Secondly, whoever are the contractors and the structural engineers, FIRs have been lodged against them and they will shortly be arrested and they have to pay the price for what they have done. Thirdly, let me tell you, these people who are talking about corruption now, and you are a Mumbaiker and you know Mumbai well, these people have been running BMC for the last 35 years at a budget of 40,000 crores per year and indulging in huge scale corruption, whether it's roads, potholes, water supply.
Sir, you were part of that. One minute. The joke, Mr. Hegde, is that your Shiv Sena was part of that same. Just a minute, Clyde Crasto. Your Shiv Sena was part of that same BMC that you are saying is corrupt.
No, Rajdeep, let me answer this. वो तो राजा है, हम तो कार्यकर्ता है. तो पैसा कौन लेता है, राजा या कार्यकर्ता, वो आप भी जानते हो और मैं भी जानता हूँ. So let me come back to the facts. The fact is that they have indulged in huge corruption and now they have been blaming us from day one, making all kinds of baseless allegations since this government is formed. They cannot digest the fact that it is Eknath Shindeji in the state and Narendra Modi in the center. So they want to go hammer and tongues. Now, the kind of schemes we've launched, whether it's the Lake Ladli Ben, Vayushri Yojana, or the umpteen number of schemes which the government has done.
Let's not go into that. Sir, today I have limited time. I want to focus on a statue that the Prime Minister inaugurated 9 months ago. We can dispute the cost. There are various costs doing the rounds. But it went into more than several hundred crores, and the fact therefore is...
No.
What is the cost?
not the truth. The cost of the statue, which the state government contributed, was 2.5 crores, and we will erect a huge, magnificent statue in
What
honor
was
of
the
Shivaji
total
Maharaj.
cost?
The total cost was close to 5 crore rupees, and the state's contribution was 2.5 crore rupees.
Okay. Clyde Crasto respond because the
and we will erect a magnificent statue because Shivaji Maharaj is revered. He's a god for us, and this is our responsibility. We are not blaming the Indian
Krishna
Navy.
Hegde, allow Clyde Crasto to respond. Clyde Crasto, according to the Shiv Sena, how can you blame them for corruption here?
Let me tell you something, Rajdeep, and since you don't have time, I'm going to be quick on this one. First point is very, very simple. They've been saying that an FIR has been filed against the structural engineer and the contractor. Fair enough, good job. But why not the PWD department officers? Were they not part of the whole thing? They should have checked, were they checking or not? The PWD officers are saying that we found rusted nuts and bolts. So why were they quiet? Where is the PWD minister? Why is he not questioned? If the state was equally involved in all this and now they are saying that we are taking the blame for it, then everybody involved in the whole thing should be pulled up, case should be filed against all of them. And the second topic that you're talking about, part of corruption, for 25 years, the Bharatiya Janata Party and its now allies were along with the Shiv Sena. So they are blaming themselves. And let me tell you one thing. The current Chief Minister of Maharashtra was also the Urban Development Minister, and the municipal corporation comes under the Urban Development Ministry. So then is he blaming the Chief Minister today for all the corruption? Fair enough. Go ahead and blame.
No.
I did not talk to
Mr. Hegde, he did not intervene.
Maintain your discipline.
The fact though is, Clyde Crasto, according to the government, the statue collapses. There were heavy winds that day. There was heavy rainfall. They are saying now that they will build a bigger statue and they will ensure FIRs are filed against the contractors who are involved. What more do you expect the government of the day to do?
They are not doing a favor by filing an FIR. That only some people, selective people, there's FIR on. Everybody should be pulled up, and they are not doing a favor by building a statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj to someone we revere in this state and in the country. You go to Pratapgarh in Mahabaleshwar in Satara district. Nehruji had built the Shivaji statue. It still stands. You think that that did not stand the test of time of winds, heavy winds and heavy rains? What are we talking about here? And here, if you see the statue, completely thin sheeting, hollow, rusted nuts and bolts, it's a clear case of corruption. They can talk about corruption, but there are a lot of issues that we can bring up and put corruption on their face.
Okay, let me clarify.
Let
me clarify that the opposition had said, I should clarify an earlier statement, opposition had said hundreds of crores spent. Officially, the claim is it was 2.36 crores. Now, the Devendra Fadnavis sir has said, Mr. Hegde, the construction of the statue was not overseen by the state government but by the Navy. The statue might have been more prone to rust due to its exposure to ocean winds. Now, all of this seems to be hindsight. Yeah, it seems that the statue was constructed in a hurry because Prime Minister Modi had to inaugurate it in December. Absolutely. That is the truth. You wanted it inaugurated before the elections. This is where you put pressure on contractors to inaugurate these statues in a hurry, and look at what has happened. Clyde Crasto is right. There are many statues of Shivaji that have stood the test of time.
Rajdeep, action has been taken against the contractor and the structural engineer, and if there is a need to take action against PWD officers, that will also be done.
Was it done in a hurry? Why blame them? Was it done in a hurry to complete a deadline so that the Prime Minister could inaugurate it before the elections?
No, I don't think it was done in a hurry, but I think it's the structural engineer's job to see the stability of the the statue. Let me also tell you that Clyde Crasto does not have his facts right. The UD is a different department and the BMC
is an autonomous body which you should be knowing.
You don't know your facts. You absolutely don't know your facts.
Mr. Crasto,
the BMC is an autonomous body which you should explain. Secondly, another thing I would like to tell you that these people...
Mr. Crasto, you can't... Yes, go ahead, Krishna Hegde.
The Mumbai Municipal Corporation is an autonomous body, and corruption which has happened there has happened in large scale, and therefore you know who has been big part of the corruption, which you are also aware of.
Okay.
Let me again tell you, we will rebuild and restore and build a magnificent statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj as he is a god for us, and we'll see that in future such mishaps do not happen. This is extremely unfortunate. We take our responsibility. We do not blame the Indian Navy or any defense forces because we are proud nationalists and we know the contribution they have done to the country.
Okay, I'm going to therefore give a final word to you, Clyde Crasto. Will your government also, if you come to power in November, rebuild this statue? Does Maharashtra need more statues or more schools and hospitals?
We definitely need more schools, hospitals, and we need to have a statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He's like a god to us. We revere him. He's our hero, and we will not do what they've done. Okay. There's serious corruption involved. A statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj will come up, and it will definitely not be like this. Okay. I gave you an example of Pratapgarh. There'll be many like that in the days to come.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Clearly, Maharashtra's politics, like that of Bengal, is boiling up. Bengal boiling up over a tragic rape and murder. Maharashtra is boiling over a Shivaji statue. It's a state that goes to the polls, remember, in just a couple of months from now. The best way, I believe, that you can honor Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's legacy is to build a better Maharashtra. Think about it. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.